And here we are back again. It's time to start the next project, which those of you who followed the Columbia helicarrier build got a little sneak preview of. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take parts of two 1/144th C-17 Globe Master kits in 1/144th scale. I'm going to take two of the kits, namely the one complete kit in the wings, or the ends of the wings rather, off of the second kit to produce that, or at least a reasonable facsimile thereof. That being Shield 616, or the bus from Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. As I said, on the helicarrier build, I did a little proof of concept model at 1/700th scale, and it turned out fairly well. So the idea here now is to take it a step further and put one to scale with CW and the newly finished Quinjet. Stay tuned. Alright, looks like for the most part this will actually be a fairly quick build, mostly because since I'm not detailing the interior, now I'm building it closed, I'm not going to have to paint the interior. So, no worries about detailing the deck here. Most of the cockpit you're not really going to be able to see once the canopy's on. So all I've done is some rudimentary painting, namely the seats and the back carpet. But that is basically the first three steps. Stay with me. And work continues on Shield 616. At this point, I've got the main gear in place, as well as the brace for the main wings. Well, let me rephrase that. I've got the main gear mounts in place. That actually didn't call for the wheels to go on until much later. Each one of those struts, those of you who love fiddly bits, each one of those struts is about 8 pieces. As you can see, I had to do 4 sets. So, welcome to the fun. Stay with me. Alright, back at it. What's been a very productive day. As you can see, I've got the fuselage together. Top seam's not looking too bad. I could probably use a little bit of a touch-up, sanding stick or a file. That is arguably the single worst seam on this whole ship. Comes from where the bottom plate meets up with the fuselage halves, and it actually makes a jog there. I'm not crazy about the way it was designed. Now, the seam back here I can forgive because this is designed to be opened or closed on the kit. So we can go with that. Tail planes are glued up, as are the main wings. Gotta say, this thing's gone together faster than I thought it would. Stay tuned. And we are back at it. Right now, I'm working on a key modification to make this the bus. I've cut the main wings from the second kit down to length to provide my rear wings. Using a drill in my Dremel, I cut slots on either side of the fuselage so I could insert a couple of wooden corn dog sticks to give me something to slide those onto and give me some added stability. Net result, She gave me wings that don't want to droop. Stay with me. Back at it on what's been a very productive day. What we have here are all 6 engines, both assembled as per kit instructions and with a little addition. You'll see these little pieces of plastic that I have glued on all 6 engines. On the Shield 616 version, it does show these additional pieces, so went ahead and added them. Speaking of adding things, I have installed all of the wings, including the tail planes. To fill the gap that develops when I installed the lower wings, I have one of my best friends for modeling, Abe's Epoxy Sculpt, hard at it. We'll let that cure up, smooth it out, and the wings will be good to go. At this point, there's not a lot left in the construction. Oh, I forgot one other thing. I have, as you can see, masked off and glued in the canopy. Stay with me. And we're at the end of what's been a very, very productive day. At this point, I have the engines on, although I did have a proximity issue with a couple of engines, but at this point I figure it's close enough. I'm calling raw construction complete. I've got to go in and touch up the Aves areas, but that's about it. My one complaint, I've got the landing gear wheels now in place. My one complaint with this kit is the fiddly way the landing gear gets put together. As you can see, my wheels aren't necessarily even, but because of the way the landing gear goes together, that was about the best I could really do with it. I freely admit, in the hands of a better modeler, they probably would have turned out better. It's a good thing I'm not planning on putting her on a runway, because her, with the added wings, her rear end's a little heavy. But with a little touch-up work, we're about ready for primer. Stay with me.